Before we get into this episode, make sure you're subscribed to our channel. You can hit the notification button so you can get updated weekly on all of our latest content. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, tell us what you want to see next below.
Welcome back to the Him and Her Show. Today we're sitting down with the one, the only, the iconic Jenny McCarthy. She's a comedian, an actress, a host, a mother, a New York Times bestselling author, an autism advocate. She is the founder of Formless Beauty, which is EWG verified. Is that correct?
Working on it.
Okay.
Yep.
And Jenny's career has spanned decades and genres, from Playboy's 1994 Playmate of the Year to MTV's Singled Out, to her sketch comedy, her sitcom, Jenny, blockbuster films like Scary Movie 3, Dirty Love. She's co-hosted The View. I mean, you've done a lot. She's funny, fearless, authentic. Jenny, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I love you guys.
You
So
got
I'm
a
just
big
really
bio.
happy. Every time I've seen your guys' show, I'm like, why aren't I on this show? We speak the same language.
We've been calling for years.
And here I am. Like,
Here you are.
When you said you knew what the Christmas tree was in the Uber out there,
Yeah.
I was just like, it's
we were meant to be
Spirit.
best friends.
Kindred Spirit. And then you said you use Branch Basics.
Oh, yeah.
There's so Formless Beauty. There's a million things.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to go way back.
Yeah.
You kind of are like the OG. You're sort of like, you were the original podcaster before podcasting, in my opinion. You kind of set the stage for shows like The Bachelor, Love Island. Like, you did it before everyone did it. Where did that start?
It started with I was working at a Polish grocery store in Chicago, and I was like, I need to get to LA. I need to try to make it, you know? So it started with paying off $20,000 in debt of college tuition that I was like, I basically dropped out of college because I was broke. So I wound up posing for Playboy to get the $20,000 to move to LA. Got to LA, and I was like, okay, now I have to try to make a career for myself. People don't usually go that route because there's no career after Playboy. So I tried my hardest, and they're like, no one wants a Playmate. I couldn't even knock on a door without people going, no, Playboy, no way. So I crashed an audition at MTV. And that was Singled Out. So there was a line around, there was literally, they had a cattle call, which is basically anyone can show up to audition. So it was like 400 girls outside, and I got in line. And I auditioned and made it down through like 15, you know, what is it called? Callbacks, and finally got it. So that's how it came about. It was me going like, okay, I need a job. MTV is a place where I can show my personality. I show that I'm not just a pinup. There's more behind the bleach. And that's how I got my start.
Well, speaking of the pinups, me and my friends had all those posters on the wall back in the day.
Back in the day.
Might be why we're married, Lauren. Because she used to have blonde hair.
I did.
I
feel like it was like the blonde hair, the big boobs.
And we'd come home from school. I must have been like 10, and you'd watch MTV. That's what you would do. You would take
That's
the
what you
bus
did.
home, and then you'd watch MTV. For the younger people listening, it was
everything back then.
But I think what made you so different is that you're so beautiful, but you're also so warm, disarming, approachable, unapologetic, and big personality. And I feel like at that time, girls weren't allowed to show their personality.
It's true. And I remember that's what I think why I got the job, is because they were like, this girl is okay being self-deprecating. And I wanted to be human and show like girls can fart and pick their nose just like the guys. And I think it was disarming. It was almost like shocking also for the guys too.
When you were thrown into that, were you just going with the flow? Were you comfortable?
Very.
Always comfortable?
Always. Yeah.
So it was like natural.
Totally.
Where do you think that comes from?
I have no idea. I have no idea where it came from.
What about your confidence?
The confidence, you know what? If I look at my path, my confidence comes also with a little bit of desperation, and desperation of like growing up poor, not having much money, and determined to like make a better life for myself. Because I grew up in a neighborhood with like gangs and stuff like that, Southside Chicago. So I was really determined. So I had to like get past, and almost like fake it till you make it. I was determined so much with desperation that I faked it till I made it. But when I got to MTV, I just felt a freedom because working for Playboy for a year, it was so much about the exterior where I was like, okay, I can have fun showing off the interior now. So I think that led me on a path of even becoming more and more confident.
Do you think a lot of playmates, after they saw what you did, sort of wanted to emulate that formula?
I think so. I mean, I have no idea. I kind of like went forward and didn't look back. You know, I just kind of said, you know, it was also a time where the Playboy mansions were having, you know, parties and people, I was watching a lot of the girls go in different directions. And I was so hyper-focused on staying like off of the tabloids. Like if you think about it, my tabloids back in my big heyday when I was like the most popular person for 6 months, it was more like a whole year of People magazine would have me on every single week. And I just hid. That's why I dated like a 50-year-old guy in my 20s, because all he wanted to do was stay home and watch Wheel of Fortune.
Why did you hide?
Because I didn't want to be seduced into going to parties. I didn't want to be seduced into doing drugs. I just wanted to, I was so focused to stay on a career path. And I knew that there was a lot, I mean, in Hollywood, there's a lot of demons just kind of going like, come this way.
Yeah.
And I just knew I had to stay focused, driven, and stay grounded. And by staying in a relationship that a guy that just wanted to stay home all the time, watch Wheel of Fortune, allowed me to be grounded for all those years.
How do you think you knew how to do that? Did you have anyone coaching you or anyone in your life that was helping you, or just like it was an intuition?
I think it was an intuition. I did have my fun in college. You know, I had my 2 years of like tripping my balls off on acid,
Nice.
finding the door. Like literally, I mean, there was a time in college when I was like so broke, I was like selling shake weed. And I was like a shaman for people on their acid trips. I would take them out on the weekends. And by the time I left college, I was like, oh, I don't need to do that anymore. I literally got it all out of my system. Fortunately, in my college, SIU, Southern Illinois University, it was all about hallucinogenics and like mushrooms and acid. It wasn't the cocaine and the stuff that people get, you know, really addicted to. Mm-hmm. So I had fun. It made my mind expand, I will say. Then by the time I got to Hollywood, I was so focused.
Is it hard to have fame and have a dating life? What is that like?
Yeah. I mean, I was a serial monogamist though. So like that first guy boyfriend was 5 years. Then the next one, I got married. So I was married to him for 7 years. And I literally went from one to the next. Then I went into another relationship for 5 years. And it wasn't until that one, I turned 40 and I was like, you know what? Let me do some casual dating. Let me learn how to just casually date. My therapist was like, you're going to go on 10 dates and you're not going to see them again. Because I would be like, go on one date and be like, let's get married. You know what I mean? Let's just stay, you know, I think when I put my mind to something, I will give it everything I've got until I realize it's not working or broken. But I'm determined little bunny to make things work.
I wouldn't have any clue how to date. Either would you.
No, I feel like I'm more like you. I'm like, if you find someone, it's and you like them, it's like,
no, let me stick with it.
Yeah, but not anymore. I feel like everyone's like swipe left, right.
Totally.
My friends are going on 600 dates.
It would be hard to date right now.
Yes.
It would be hard to date right now. And plus people feel much more open to tell on you or tell secrets or talk about you. And I feel like I didn't want that either.
How was it growing up around all the celebrity? It seems to me like you just kept your blinders on and ignored all of it and went to work. Is that correct?
Can I totally be honest about something? There's been celebrities that want to be friends with me throughout my career in the past 3 years, and I don't want to be friends with them.
Talk about that.
I have a weird thing. I don't know what it is, but I'm like, I wish I could give you the definition or explanation as to why, but they all kind of freak me out in a way. They just kind of do, and I don't know why. I think I enjoy deep, real conversations where you can get to that next level. And with celebrities, it's kind of hard because you have a lot of armor up. And I don't know. I have my best friends from college that I'm still friends with. Like that is my crew. They keep me grounded. And I wish maybe I have to have a therapist explain to me
I think it makes a ton of sense. I think doing this show, you meet a lot of people of that caliber, and it's like, it's without diminishing it, it's not the same as getting into a relationship with someone who doesn't have a platform like that. Like there, to your point, there's a little bit of a layer or a guard up or like a fluff that you kind of need to get through before you can get deeper.
Yep.
But it's almost like, I think for me personally, it's like, I don't know if I can put in all of that effort to get through all that stuff when I can just meet someone that doesn't come with any of that stuff.
True. And you know what else, you guys? And it's celebrities, if you think about it, they're trained to only talk about themselves. They actually don't know how to be curious about someone else because they're so trained to just respond about themselves.
Well, it's why when you
they'll come on the, like, okay, I'm not going to name a name, but if like what exactly to your point, what you're saying, like I'll interview someone for 2 hours and then afterwards they're like, do you want to go to dinner? And it's not because they want to go to dinner with me. It's because I just asked them about themselves for 2 hours and they want to keep it going.
Correct. It's true. I would absolutely see that.
It's hard.
I totally get what you're saying. Like there's no curiosity, not with all of them, but just like there's no curiosity beyond what they're trained to do.
I told Donnie, it's like we've got these 3 C's. It's cuddling, communication, and curiosity. Because we've both been famous since we were 19. He was famous at 15. So we were trained to only answer questions about ourselves. So I said in the beginning of the relationship, you know what? I've been trained through the Oprah School University to do a talk show. Like I learned how to ask questions. So I'm going to train you to also kind of get curious. And he is so good at it now. Like because it's true. Celebrities do not know how to sometimes go back and forth because we're so used to answering questions about ourselves. Like, look, I can't really get into your life too much. When you come on my podcast, I will do the same for you. Yep. But I'm trained right now to just tell you stories about myself. But when you're dating someone, you have to train them to kind of.
Well, and especially
it's the ping pong of it.
In this format too, like most celebrities have not done this format. They're doing it now, but most of the formats is like just a ton of questions at you and very quick, interactions.
Exactly.
And so you're just used to answering answers. Like,
that's it.
I understand it.
Wait, what is the Oprah School of Interviewing and how do you train a man to get curious? There's like a takeaway here.
Well, first of all, a man has to want to. I'll start with that with Donnie. Donnie is the most incredible man, human being, husband that walks the face of the earth. I know you probably are too.
Take notes, Lauren.
He is one of a kind, and his compassion and generosity and love. So it was easy to try to go like, we'd play this game called Questions. We invented a game called Questions. So we'll go on a date and be like, time for questions. And we just ask anything we want and we go back and forth. Okay, it's your turn. And you can ask any question, like something that's bugging you. Like, you know what? Remember when I asked you to put the dishes in the dishwasher and you kind of answered me in a sharp kind of way. So it's any kind of question. So that has been a wonderful little game on date night to do. It's also been like, tell me about your worst breakup or anything just to get curious. Now, the Oprah School was back in the day. I was approached by her to do my own talk show through Harpo.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, of course. And this is when she was kind of leaving. So but she didn't even invent OWN yet. So I was signed for like a couple years to go through training, much like Oz went through training, and they have you do these workshops and learn, which is very interesting. And I loved it. Why we didn't continue is kind of in that 12th hour, she invented OWN, the network, in the last kind of minute. And I said, in my contract, it was syndication. I didn't want to go to a cable, start off a show. I've just been training for 2 years to do a syndicated talk show. And she was like, no, but now I want you to own. I was like, no, I don't want to.
How'd that go over?
It didn't go over very well.
Yeah.
No.
So that's a hard person to say no to.
It was a very hard, there was some back and forth a little bit, but we've made up and we're friends and I love Oprah. And then I just kind of walked away from that deal after a few years.
How do you know when to walk away of something that's not serving you? Is it just intuitive?
I love your questions, by the way.
Thanks.
It's very intuitive. I have, it's almost like I'm getting the flu. If I get a physical reactions of just like, literally my body's like, if you tell your friends you'll go somewhere and then you just regret it and that date's coming up and you're just like, oh my God. And you have that feeling come over you. Every time you think of it, it's dread. Literally, you start to have those instincts. And people would say to me, are you kidding? You can't turn down. It's Oprah Winfrey. And I was like, no, they wound up giving it to Rosie O'Donnell on OWN. Remember, she launched OWN with her talk show. So I just was happy that I didn't, because I wasn't ready for that. It was kind of an older network. It was aiming to be a little bit older, and I was still only 33. It was 33.
Yeah, I think that's a good decision for you. What was the decision that you pivoted to after that?
NBC had signed me to do a possible talk show, and it was between me and Steve Harvey that year. So I did do a pilot. It rated incredibly well. They could only pick one, so they picked Steve Harvey. Even though the president was like, it was so hard, but for some reason, they just said Steve. And you know what? It worked out well for him. It worked out well for that network. So then I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to get my own late night talk show. So I found a hip, for me, executive producer that did Andy Cohen's show. Cool. And we wound up doing one on VH1. And while I was doing this talk show, The View approached me and said, hey, can we have you over here? We're looking for a new person.
And what was the View experience like?
Maybe a little different than it is now.
It's a little different now. You know, the short story of it is they got rid of Elizabeth and Joy because they said it became too polarizing. They thought it was too polarizing back then. God. So they said, we want to bring someone on that is a pop culture kind of expert, someone that brings the fluff and fun. Okay. And I was like, well, that's me. I'm fluffy and fun. And that's what I like to do. So I joined, and within 1 week, they switched direction pretty quickly because Barbara, they learned, had absolutely no idea at this point in her life who I was talking about in pop culture. She is so trained to do political, but they wanted to bring in the pop culture. But as soon as I started bringing up, I'll bring up Katy Perry in that first week, and she'd say, who? And I'm like, you interviewed her last week. So she was starting to show little signs of dementia. I know people don't want to talk about it, but it's true. She was, starting to show signs of that. So, so much so I was telling a story about myself, how someone approached me in the airport and said, hey, I had a Jenny McCarthy poster on the wall growing up.
Was it me? No,
and she said, who's Jenny McCarthy?
Oh, okay.
While I was sitting there.
That's rough.
So it was sad. It was sad. And I helped her out by going, you are so funny, Barbara. Sometimes I ask myself that, who is Jenny McCarthy? But so they came to me and they're like, we have to switch back to politics. And I was like, say what? So that year, talk about me having the flu. You guys, if I would have stayed on that show any longer, I would have had cancer, tumors.
What year was this exactly? Around?
I'm going to say 2013.
Okay.
Because people don't realize that everyone's so busy talking about what you're consuming and what you're eating and all these different things. What you consume mentally. You're so right. You can get things from your mental consumption.
Right.
So what happened? What did you do?
So I toughed it out. They would come in my dressing room before the show and try to cram opinions and I'm just like, oh my God, it was really, really tough. And plus they want you to fight. And listen, I can fight for things I believe in. Like you guys probably know what I fought for the past 20 years against the CDC. That's where we're
going to talk about it.
That's where my fight is. That's where you see Mama Bear come out. But when it comes out to all these other things, it was really hard on me to fight because I'm just not. I am a person that will find the peace really quickly because I don't need to be right. People have such a righteousness and to be right. And if you watch The View, they train you backstage to kind of get ready. Get ready. It's like gladiators. You're going to gather and fight. And I'd be like, eh. So me and Sherry Shepherd would squeeze each other's knees underneath the table and holding on for dear life. So when they let basically, I think it was 15 to 20 people go that day. It was like the red wedding at The View that day. They made it appear like we wanted to leave on our own accord, and they have you say that, but it wasn't true. Isn't that crazy? They're like, if you want to get paid the last 2 weeks, you have to go out there and say you wanted to leave and all these things.
It sounds like a very old way of doing things. And you are someone to me who's so much on the pulse. I feel like you don't even need a network. That's why I think you should have your own podcast.
I feel like that. I feel like
You should let it fly how you want to let it fly. You don't need all these people pulling strings and controlling. Like,
Right.
I feel like you can just go do your own thing and you already have the audience.
it's time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think unfortunately, like the time we live in now is people want everybody to care about everything that's going on at all times.
Right.
Right. And it's like, we say this all, like, we're not a political show. We'll touch on topics that I guess are taboo or that are popular in the moment, but we have a really hard time whenever whatever's going on in the world today. People are like, what's your opinion? Dive in right now. It's like, if you don't have that passion or the desire to be that thought leader or expert,
Yeah.
like, I just feel like sometimes it's better for people that do public facing things to sometimes stay quiet and be like, unless you really care.
It's true. It's true. And some people are built for it. You know, like the Megyn Kellys of the world, they're built for that. And it's like, you go, girl, you do your thing. It's like, I like, spirituality. I like self-help. I like wellness, and I like pop culture and fun stuff and conspiracy. Like that's my lane that I love.
So on the wellness front,
podcast.
am I allowed to take Tylenol or not?
Yeah, we were going to ask you.
Because again, somehow this has become
What's the
political.
question?
This has become political.
You or people in general?
No. I think, well, the way I understand it, and I watched your piece, and we had Paul Saladino on yesterday, and I think like we're a wellness focused show. So I think people that are in that community have known for a long time that if you take excessive amounts of Tylenol, you could deplete your glutathione levels, which could be problematic.
People didn't know this. Yeah. The interesting thing, you guys, a behind the scene look of how I feel about my post too, that went kind of viral. So many people were asking me about it, obviously, because I've got a son on the spectrum, that I was like, okay, let me just do a post. And it's interesting because the trolls that came out were like all saying the same thing, which is, you're not a doctor, shut up. Well, of course I'm not a doctor. I even put in my thing on the post, talk to your doctor, okay? But I found it interesting because usually the trolls will disagree with the message. They weren't disagreeing. That's a step up. They're calling me not a doctor, shut up, but not saying that's not true. So I was like, oh, there's improvement in the world. So they must be understanding there's some truth to it. And if not, it's like, go look at the Harvard studies, go look at the studies. And what happened for me, and I wrote about this in my autism book 15 years ago. I wrote, even longer than that, I wrote that glutathione, Tylenol depletes glutathione. What is glutathione? It's your body's natural antioxidant that it's like the greatest thing in the world that you should have in your body at great levels. It helps keep cancer away. It helps detox your body. It's good stuff. Now, I didn't use Tylenol, and neither did I didn't use Tylenol when I was pregnant, and I didn't use it on my son before and after shots. But I have an MTHFR gene mutation. So does my son. And I have low glutathione, and so does my son.
Does everyone with a low or with a MTHFR gene have low glutathione?
It's one of the things stated with it,
That's
like people with
know that.
MTHFR gene mutation, because we have a methylation issue. We can't detox properly. And what is your secret sauce for that? Is glutathione. So what happens is when you can't detox toxins out of a body, like let's say mercury or aluminum, it's going to float and it's going to attach to organs. Where's attached? Brain, inflammation, gut. So you can see a correlation to how it can get to autism. Does Tylenol cause autism? No. Can Tylenol, be somewhat of a thing? Or trigger for it? Possibly. Like I'm
it
talking.
can help create an environment where it's more possible.
What do you do when you have MTFHR?
MTHFR,
MTFHR.
you have to clean up your environment so much because your body can't detox. You become chemically sensitive to everything. Have you been tested for it?
I have not. I actually
But we've had
literally just did the test 2 days ago. The swab. Intellect.
You might have it because you're sensitive. Yeah, and we've had Gary Breck on the show multiple times to talk about this.
What do you do? What do you personally
So basically, you get methylated B vitamins. So it's really kind of an easier solution. Well, you also have to clean up your environment.
Okay.
So the B vitamins will help, but you have to clean up your environment. And I would test your glutathione levels. So I get an IV weekly. So every week I go in and get me and my son get glutathione infusions.
And has it helped?
Yeah.
Because it's hard to absorb it orally.
How old were you when you knew that you had this? Was this something you've known your whole life?
I did not know this my whole life. It wasn't until my son was diagnosed and I tried to save his life. So when I started to, look into his panels and learn so much, I fixed him was fixing him, his immune system and everything is glowing. And then at age 40 is when I started to fall apart. Perimenopause is when, if you don't fix yourself in the beginning of perimenopause, you are going to suffer when menopause and postmenopause happens.
So your thing is prevention before you even get
Yes. If you can find out if you have an MTHFR gene mutation, by the way, like 50% of the country has it and doesn't know it. 50 to 60, they say. But it's so important, along with getting, like I said, in perimenopause, we have naturally inflammation happens. All of these things, our immune system starts to dysregulate, gets lower. All these things, if you don't fix them, you will start to fall apart and your teeth will start falling out of your body.
Whoa. Why do the teeth come out? Because you just lose bone structure or what?
Yeah, you start to lose bone, and it's gum receding. You start to, much like, do earmuffs for a second, but your vagina dries out as you get older, as you go through perimenopause and menopause.
Jeez, what a joy. I just had a baby and now you're telling me my vagina dries out.
I know,
It's like,
but so then your saliva
baby
also dries out, causing your gums to recede and causing more. That's why women, they're noticing more like root canal infections or teeth falling out. I'm sure you're going to see on this post below, if you guys want to comment, oh my God, I'm having some major dental issues. It's not talked about enough. That's why I wrote a book about it. Comes out next year. But you start to have major issues with your mouth.
It's so
dry
fucked.
mouth and dry vagina. Good
It's
times
so
ahead.
fucked. The stuff, the thing we have to go through, like all.
True.
It's so,
I mean, at least the guys get saggy balls and shit like that. So you guys get.
As long as those don't fall off, because that would be.
What was
women.
the moment that you got interested in all things health? Was there something that set it off?
Yeah, when the beginning of perimenopause, I started to feel like shit. I was like, I had hypothyroidism. I had leaky gut, candida. I can keep going. There's so many more that I can't even name right now. But I started getting all these diagnoses and I started to feel like shit. And I'm like, this is not good. Considering I've learned so much about healing my son, I got to put the oxygen mask on myself now. So it was just a matter of feeling terrible, getting more diagnoses, wondering why I've had 60 food allergies now. It happens a lot too. The autoimmune scale goes like that as soon as you start perimenopause. Hypothyroidism, I can't even say it right now. Hashimoto's, all that. Scale goes up during that time.
So what were the first steps that you started doing in the journey? Like, did you clean up your cleaning supplies? Did you look at your like, what are all the things you did?
Okay, so stopped drinking alcohol, cleaned up my food, organic. It got to the point where I can only have like 5 things. I did carnivore only for a little while.
Did you like it or not?
I loved it. It helped me so much, but I also had Buddha belly. I would eat and I'd bloat like this. So I'd SIBO,
even when
candida.
on carnivore or not on carnivore?
Not on carnivore.
Not on carnivore. Okay.
Once I did carnivore, oh my God, my stomach was flat. I lost weight. I felt like $1 million, but you can't stay on carnivore forever. You can only go on it for like 6 or 7 months.
But don't you think that's a really good reset for people just wanting to reset, to do that for maybe like even like 2 weeks?
I'm telling you, for everybody, I believe that everyone should try it. Mm-hmm. But you really don't get the benefits until you go a full month.
Okay, so a month. If you could just do it for a month.
If you can do it for a month.
So what are you eating on carnivore for 6 months?
Grass-fed, grass-finished beef. So I get it delivered, from a farm. And then I will have an avocado. So I'm a carnivore that has an avocado with because perimenopause and menopause, you need fiber. You need tons of fiber. So I would have an avocado with my steak.
For all meals?
I would only have it for lunch and dinner. So I would have like a ground beef. I would have an ancestry beef. So it would be like kidney, liver.
Oh,
Ancestral blend?
Love it.
Ancestral blend.
Love it.
Love it. Okay, some people go like, I have that for lunch. Then for dinner, I'd have a ribeye with all the fat on there.
And would you be hungry?
I wasn't hungry. And I also probably lost 10 pounds in a month, 12 pounds in a month.
And is Donnie over there just getting inspired, or is he like, you're crazy?
No, he's so good. He'll follow me to hell and back if I went there.
He's into it.
He's into it, yes. But he's also a natural kind of carnivore in a way. He doesn't really eat carbs ever.
Is he like really into working out and all the different things?
Yeah, he's a Wahlberg.
Yeah, whatever the Wahlbergs are putting in the cereal over there. Like
The Wahlbergs
those guys
put
make
in the work.
naturally.
Yeah.
you know.
One time I swear I saw like Mark Wahlberg's routine on Instagram and it was like
Well, it went
3
viral.
a.m. wake up.
Oh yeah,
Is that really true?
it's true. It's true. It's a real story. Yeah.
Does
yeah.
Donnie wake up
No,
early?
no.
Okay. 3 a.m. wake up is intense.
That's dedication. Yeah.
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's amazing.
I
It's
couldn't do it.
discipline.
I can barely get up at 7 or 8 a.m.
Oh, he wakes me up at 7 and I'm like feeling personally attacked.
Well, today we got up at 4, or I did 4, because we came here to
I
do
can't
this.
believe it, you guys.
But the kids are in school.
Why are you
now.
complaining? Mark wakes
So
up
it's
at 3.
hard this morning with her. I was like, I don't know if we're gonna, I felt before you got here. I said, swig some coffee. You need something here.
I did. Can you drink coffee on carnivore?
I'm allergic to coffee, so I can't answer that question.
Can you drink tea?
I do.
Tea.
So
Yeah.
you don't drink alcohol or coffee?
No, I'm high on life. I know. I don't, and it's weird because I feel great.
And you look great too.
Thank you.
I mean, I
had
want what you're eating.
a health question. I was telling some of my younger friends that don't have children yet. I said, I never really cared. I care about health, but I didn't get laser focused on it until we had children.
That's
because
right.
then when people start wanting to do things to the children, it's not the same as with yourself. You're like, am I making the right decision? Is it the wrong decision? And I was telling them, I was like, you don't know fear until you start fearing for your children.
That's exactly right, you guys.
And I wonder, I think there's a lot of misconceptions about you and your perspective, but what I tell people is that until you become a parent and you're caring for another, like you really just don't understand making some of those decisions.
It's true. And I got to be honest, is like having a child on the spectrum, our biggest fear is we can't die because who's going to take care of our kid? Now my son's doing
Terrifying.
well, but he might live with me forever. So it's like you're terrified and I'm like, I got to snap out of this. And so at age 40 is like when I started feeling like shit and I was like, no. I need to live till I'm 120. Like I need to be here for him. So it's another thing that really drives me and motivates me. Like I'm a testaholic. So I'm constantly testing myself and making sure that my lab work is good. And I'm doing more poop samples than probably anyone.
I
on
gotta
the
try
planet.
that. It feels overwhelming.
I love it.
So you just shit in a bag?
I don't love the shitting in the bag part and taking the poop samples, but I love seeing the results come back because you can see if you have a leaky gut or if you've got issues, the dysbiosis, you can see what gut flora is good, what's bad. If you have any infections that are roaming around there, like I did, it's really good to know. Like you have to at least do it.
Okay, I'm gonna do it, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you send it off, and I'm
No,
gonna say
I feel
Jenny
like there's
told
some
me
things
to
that
do
husband
it.
and wife can separate. Like that's
I did Donnie's.
That's a solo activity. I feel like for us.
I did Donnie's.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/skinny and get on your way to being your best self. For years now, Lauren and I have been interviewing high performers in all sorts of fields, all sorts of walks of life. And one common theme that many of these high performers have is that they've utilized therapy to enhance their lives. What we love about BetterHelp is BetterHelp has helped over 5 million people worldwide on their mental health journeys. That's millions of stories, millions of journeys. And behind every one is a therapist who showed up, listened, and helped someone take a step forward. On October 10th, it was World Mental Health Day. And this year, BetterHelp is shining the spotlight on therapists, people who truly make the world a better place, that help people work through their issues, through their problems, and through their fears. Lauren and I have both had so many family members impacted in such a positive way by therapists. And listen, it is not easy. These people are saints. They have to sit through and listen to all of our issues, all of our fears, all of our problems, and then have the grace and patience to help us through these issues. BetterHelp does all the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. A short questionnaire helps identify your needs and preferences, and their 12 plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate mean they typically get it right the first time. Of course, if you aren't happy with your match, you can switch for a different therapist at any time. But don't just trust me. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally, and it works. So check them out. This World Mental Health Day, we're celebrating the therapists who've helped millions of people take a step forward. If you're ready to find the right therapist for you, BetterHelp can help you start that journey. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/skinny. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/skinny.
Every morning I do my concoction, my morning elixir. So I do my electrolytes, Okay, keep up with me. This is a lot. I do lemon in the electrolytes. I do a hydrogen tablet, and then I do 2 packets of Symbiotica. I do their vitamin C packet and their elderberry packet. And I put this concoction in water, froth it up, and drink it down. I have not been sick in such a long time because of their elderberry. I love it. It's amazing for the immune system. And then I'm a big fan of their vitamin C. I always have been. I put it in my water bottle all the time. My kids just eat it plain. They'll just open a packet. Towns literally went and got his little kid scissors and just opened it the other day and drank it down. So I love their vitamin C and their elderberry. But if you're on their site, I would also recommend checking out their glutathione because it's so good if you're ever having a margarita. And glutathione is very important, as we've learned recently. And I think it's a good one to grab. I just love their products because they come in these little like packets and you can just open them on the go. You can do it, I don't know, while you're driving. You can put it in your water like I do. Taking Symbiotica supplements is one of the easiest ways I've found to stay consistent with my health goals, even during a busy season. Go to symbiotica.com/TSC today to get 20% off plus free shipping. That's CYMBIOTIKA.com/TSC to get 20% off plus free shipping.
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content to time, all in one place, all on your own terms. 20 years ago, it would not have been possible to do the show that we're doing now. The way that we're doing it would not be possible to make a living. It would not have been possible to make a living online for us. It was so hard to stand up an online store, an online presence, a blog. You had to work with all these different third parties and designers and coders and developers. And it was such a clunky experience. It was also so expensive. Now it's easier than ever to stand up your own side hustle, your own brand, your own course business, your own podcast, newsletter, whatever it may be. And Squarespace can help you do all of that. Squarespace can also help you collect payments, whether you want to be in person or online, and they can help you design all of the platforms that you want to build. The best part about it is you own these platforms. You aren't relying on a third party like some of these social platforms that we all engage on. You get to own the platform to build your dream side business or your dream main business or whatever content hub that you want to do. And it's all done cost effectively and efficiently at Squarespace. Whether you're looking to sell content like memberships or use SEO tools to build more traffic into your site, or whether you're looking for the best design using their design intelligence platform, Squarespace has you covered. So check it out. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, squarespace.com/skinny to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Again, that is squarespace.com/skinny to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
I am all about the benefits of fasting. I have tried a 5-day fasting mimicking diet twice in my life. It was before I went on vacation to Cabo. And the one that I picked was by Prolon. And the reason I picked this one is because you can eat, okay? I had soups, snacks, beverages, all designed to nourish the body while keeping it in a fasting state. Because I was in a fasting state, it triggered cellular rejuvenation and renewal, which is great for you. I feel like you got to go back and you got to listen to some episodes on fasting if you have questions, because we really cover everything. You can just search our podcast with the word fasting. Prolon's 5-day fasting mimicking diet offers a drug-free way to maintain results and support long-term metabolic health. In just 5 days, it activates fasting pathways to burn fat, protect muscle, and rejuvenate cells, all while letting you enjoy real food. And it's good too, you guys. So definitely look into it. I'm a big fan. I like to do this when I need a reset. And I think I'm going to give it a try probably at the end of November. And I just maybe will document the whole journey on Instagram story. For a limited time, Prolon is offering listeners 15% off site-wide plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe to their 5-day program. Just visit prolonlife.com/skinny. That's PROLONLIFE.com/skinny to claim your 15% off discount and your bonus gift. prolonlife.com/skinny. You were so honest about your pregnancy. I told you I've read most of your books. You got me through my first pregnancy because I was like, what the fuck is going on? And no one was honest about any of it. You talked about hemorrhoids. You talked about
Pooping on the table.
pooping on the table. She talked about pooping on the table.
Okay.
He
I'm
doesn't
gonna-
know
I'm gonna try to
anything
keep
about
up.
that
I'm gonna try to
because
keep up.
he's like when you have the baby.
Oh, okay.
And you're pushing.
You're pushing. I
No
don't
one
know.
tells you about that. And I was like, my mom said, well, I hope you don't poop on the table, dear. And I was like, say what?
I don't think I pooped on the table.
Everybody does.
Oh, really?
Yes, they just don't tell you. My mom goes, don't worry, they whisk it away quickly. I'm like, what? So I was so paranoid with my doctor. He was like, if you're that paranoid, do an enema before you come to the hospital. I'm like, I ain't shoving nothing, nowhere. So I was just like, I'm just not gonna poop on the table. So then afterwards I was like, I didn't poop on the table. My mom goes,
It doesn't feel like it.
no, because look what is happening down there. It's apocalyptic.
Well, you would assume if you're pushing down there that aggressively.
Exactly.
Like,
If you're pushing that
What
hard.
made you decide to come out and be so honest about pregnancy? And I mean, I bet that book was so well received when it came out.
You know, I wrote the book because everybody lied. Like people didn't tell the true story. So I sat there with Evan like this, and I don't know how to type. So I was like, think, plus I'm dyslexic. So I was like, think, 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 think. So I wrote this. I never wrote anything. So I don't even write emails well, but I knew how to write truth and kind of funny. So I printed it and then I sent it to my agent and they were like, okay, we'll send it out to see if anyone wants to buy it. Everyone rejected it. Everyone in New York, everybody. She found this small Boston publisher that was like, I think this is really fun and funny and it's new and refreshing and people, you're telling the truth. And it debuted at like number 9 on the New York Times bestseller list, and it stayed there for months and months and months.
Why did they reject it? Like, what was their reasoning?
I have no idea. I mean, I probably wrote a little sophomoric. I wasn't like a Shakespearean
Yeah,
writer.
but that's what you just want someone to tell you the truth.
I was a girlfriend telling you the
Each
business.
chapter is like a different thing that you get.
I remember
it's
when you were reading that.
like
actually.
Night Sweats. I read it twice. I read it with Zaza and Towns because I was like, I need someone to relate to all this shit and how the men sit there with a piece of hay in their tooth and they're like complaining about a cold that they have. Like it's
Like there was a chapter called Pig in the Pasture, and that's about having sex in the 9th month. Because you're like doggy style, you feel like a pig in the pasture, and you're just like, that's so
that ninth month does get a little squirrely.
It does.
I love how you're like trying to like relate to people
No,
being
first
pregnant.
time around, I was really terrified. I was like, I don't know about this. It's like it's never been through it. And
This-
then
Right.
the
Second
next-
time
yeah, you didn't
around,
care.
like okay.
Yeah,
third,
you didn't care.
Third time around, like, let's get going. You know?
right,
Like,
exactly.
whatever.
But you know, it still doesn't take away of us feeling like a pig in the pasture.
What's hard? I mean, to empathize, like, there's not a lot. She's like, what position? You're not gonna like be going on top and
No,
going crazy.
it's doggy style. That's
Yeah,
about
that's
it, really.
it.
And then, you know, my son, I was hoping was going to be 80 pounds, but he was only 6. I was 211 when I checked into the hospital, so I gained a lot of weight.
That made me feel better. When you talked about that, that was the one where I was like, oh, because you are so beautiful. And to hear that was like, it was like a sigh of relief because everyone lies.
I loved my brownies. I loved my quick milk, even though I was allergic to all of it and didn't know it.
So when you had the baby, were you as shocked as when you actually had the baby to when you were pregnant at what it entailed?
Oh, yeah. I was completely gobsmacked looking back going, oh my God. Plus I had 8 ribs that popped out. So I couldn't sleep laying down for the last month. So all I do was just cry around the house. And I was so constipated, like bad. Do you remember the chapter I went to the poop doctor?
Yeah, I remember all of it.
You'll have to buy the book Belly Laughs because I won't get into it here. But I had God gave me every symptom so I could write a book about it. That's how I felt. Because everything, premature labor, like you name it, I went through it all of it. And that's why perimenopause, I was like, I might as well write a book about menopause and perimenopause, just like Belly Laughs, because I've had all the symptoms.
I think that's why you're so famous, though. It's like you tell the truth. And people, it's refreshing because so many people are lying. I mean, you see it with plastic surgery, you see anything. Everyone's like looking to lie.
Well,
It's so
like,
much easier to just tell the truth.
To me, like, there's a difference, but like reading any kind of memoir where people leave that kind of stuff out or the truth, it's like nobody wants to read a fluff piece.
No, it's true.
It's not interesting.
It's not. And
you can tell too as the reader.
Right.
You're like, where's the real stuff that happened?
Right.
You know?
At what point as a mother did you notice that Evan was autistic? Was it something that you knew intuitively? Was it something that someone diagnosed him with? What was that like for you?
It's kind of like a slow buildup. the only reason I knew rather quickly was he wound up having a seizure after a shot, not long after. So, but in hindsight, you can go back and look that after Hep B, he was jaundiced in the hospital. He was really, really yellow. Then as time went on, he had like eczema really, really badly. He had double ear infections. Like these are all things that now looking back in the autism community, a lot of parents say there are like warning signs that your body, and I hate to even, it's like, it's immune dysregulation. You're starting to have immune dysregulation. And by the time he got to his MMR, I asked the doctor if we can skip it because I had such a gut reaction. Talk about a flu reaction. I saw a thing at the store the day before his appointment. It was the Time magazine issue that said, parents are saying that their child is becoming autistic after the MMR. So I went in and I was like, I felt like a gut punch when I read that, doctor. I'm like, I feel like he can't do this. Can we not do this? And he said, don't be one of those quack mothers. Don't be ridiculous.
And to add some commentary on this, when you become a new parent and we experience this, you don't know and you're scared. And you're listening to who you think is the expert and who has, all the answers. And I'll just be honest, there's pressure, especially as a new parent. And you're sitting there. And again, like your fear, my big thing about this issue, which I try to explain to people is, it is one of the scariest things to try to figure out as a parent. And it is also taboo to talk about. So you can't say, I'm scared to talk about this and I want to ask every question that anything that pops up, I want to get all the answers. I want to talk to 8 people. You're told no and you're a quack and then you're labeled in a bad way. And I think that does a lot of disservice, not only to the parent, but to the space in general, because people don't know what to say and you just feel this immense fear and sometimes even shame.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I was going to say. You feel shame, immediate shame. Mm-hmm. And I still battled with him in that room. And my husband, my ex-husband, he was there and he said, why don't you just leave? Why don't you just step out of the room if you can't handle this? And I was like, because he agreed to it. Now, looking back, my ex-husband's like, God, I'm so sorry. You were so right. You were so right. And I'm sorry. And like, I don't blame him. He was also listening to the doctor and he was shaming us. He was legit shaming us. So it wasn't far after that Evan started having seizures. And those seizures led to seizures that would put him into cardiac arrest. So he had died in front of me once. Yeah, he was gone.
Which again, I can't even imagine that fear because it's never happened. But I just know, like, if my daughter even scrapes her, if she gets stitches or something, like the fear in you can't describe that.
No, my post-traumatic stress was very real for 20 years. Like even Donnie, when I married Donnie, he's like, you need to get some help because Evan would sneeze or cough and I'd be like, I was so paranoid because I watched my kid eyes dilate and go blue while they were trying to resuscitate him, And so then the next seizure, I had to put him in a phenobarbital coma, which basically makes you brain dead on the machine.
Oh my God.
So he wouldn't go into cardiac arrest. So it's like, I've been through it. I've been really, really through it, which, really brought me closer to God, I will say.
Yeah.
Like, I prayed so hard and begged him. I'm like, please give me my boy back, please. And if you can help teach me what's wrong with him, help me heal him, I will promise I'll teach the world how to do it. If this is my purpose, if the only reason I'm famous is to help spread some word, then please allow my son to come back to life and show me the way. And so, he was then later diagnosed with autism soon after that. And then I made it my mission. Then I was like, okay. And then I started diving into the research of like, I got to fix him.
Was it a relief when he was diagnosed because you felt No.
I was hoping it was just epilepsy when they first said he's got epilepsy now. And I'm like, what? Like, does epilepsy run in the family? I'm like, no, epilepsy doesn't run in the family. So I was devastated because you guys, back then, there wasn't a lot of information. This is what the doctor said to me. There's plenty of institutions for him that he'll be in an institution later on in life. That's what I got. Sorry, your son has autism. He's going to be in an institution.
No, and I'm sure that clip that's been seen a million times of you guys on the Larry King show, like that was like, so, people don't realize at that time when you were having that conversation, like people were not like, it's not like it is now where people are starting to ask questions. Like it was like, whoa. And I imagine that was really challenging to speak publicly about at the time because people were not willing to hear it. And I
yeah.
imagine it was really difficult on your career and your family.
Very.
And now people are talking about it more. But, what my big message to everybody is like, parents have the right to be concerned and fearful and ask questions. And I don't think it's fair for the medical community or for other people, especially people who don't have children, to question parents when all they're trying to do is find the answers that's going to best serve their kids and their family.
Right.
Like even if the answer, even if you just go down a long rabbit hole of, they should have every question answered.
And not be shamed for it. And that's all I kind of tell parents. It's like, I just want you to be able to advocate for yourself, stick up for your child, follow your gut instincts and do your own research. Today, 20 years later, since Evan's been diagnosed, there is so much more research now that you guys can go in and, advocate for yourself. And, just hearing those words that I've heard for so long, and we heard it during the COVID with the words safe and effective. It's safe and effective, safe and effective, safe and effective, safe and effective. It's like, is anything on this planet safe and effective? Like, I learned in biology back in grammar school that, when you get a conclusion, you're supposed to retest it. And you're constantly supposed to retesting things in science. So
That's why they call it science.
Exactly. So nothing is settled. I remember when they said that smoking was safe, that pregnant women can smoke. Do you remember that science back in the day? Things evolve. People learn things. It's like, so I beg people just to kind of open your mind a little bit for the sake of your child and for new science and for what other people are advocating about.
If you could go back and do it over, would you do nothing with the vaccines?
Well, knowing what I know now,
Yeah.
for myself, I probably would not. Now, if I wanted a lighter perspective, I would get rid of some. It's like, I would be like, okay, do I need the hepatitis B on the first day of life? No, that can wait till he's 12. I wanted to separate the MMR. I asked to separate the MMR because it all comes in one shot.
For those that are listening or are confused, like when you have kids, when we were in I think sub 1989, you would have 10 or 12 or few.
Back in the day, we had 7 vaccines.
Yeah, and now when you go, and this is a lot of parents' experience, they do multiple in the same visit.
Correct.
Right. So that's what you're talking about.
We're up to 72 now.
Yep.
And so MMR, there's 3 shots in one, and now they included chickenpox in there. So I asked for it to be separated, and they're like, we don't do that. They didn't separate them. I don't even know if they separate them now. I know that they just made an announcement that you should ask for them separated. I'm not sure that they do. And I'm not telling people not to vaccinate. I'm telling people, if you want to, at least do the research, at least look into it, and check your own genetic vulnerabilities, MTHFR gene mutation. If you have a MTHFR gene mutation, the moms usually pass it down. So I would look into, if your kid, do you have low glutathione? Does your child have low glutathione?
Because it's harder to detox if you have that.
Correct.
So when you get the shot, it makes it harder to detox the shot.
Correct. Because when you go to the doctor, they say,
Makes so much
if you're worried about the metals, they'll say, don't worry, your body excretes it. And that is true. Your body it excretes it. You poop it out, pee it out, whatever, sweat it out, whatever, it comes out. Except if your methylation, your detox pathways are broken or low. And that is the case for, obviously, a lot of people.
Yeah, the problem with, I think, a lot of medical advice in general, not just on this issue, is that there's blanket advice for everyone. And we saw this perfectly during COVID. Like, personally, for me, myself, I was never concerned about COVID because I'm an in-shape young male that's athletic and has a good respiratory system. For my 82-year-old dad, you were a little overweight at the time, you're better now, I was a little more concerned for him, right? So I just think applying blanket advice that him and I should be treated in the same way, it just didn't register in my brain. I was like, well, I'm not going to believe that line of thought, right?
Right.
And listen, we got a lot of shit for that, but I think there's time for medical intervention, but it has to be case by case based on the patient and also based on their genetics and tests that are readily available.
It should be individualized medicine. It should be individualized.
Out of all the research that you've done, because it sounds like you've done a lot, what has been the most shocking thing that you've discovered? Let me get my scroll.
I mean, I would almost need to even come back to you with that question because it's quite shocking. I just think, the sad part is just how heavy metals float into the body and then get stuck into the gut and the brain. To To me, it was a lie when the doctor said you excrete it. So that was like what? That could happen? It could float around your body. And then also not knowing about the Tylenol thing. That's why I wrote about it 15 years ago. I wrote about it in my book because so many parents. Now, the thing is, I went on the road, and people don't know this. I went on the road for 7 years, and I brought camera crews with me. So I've got all this footage. I don't know what to do with it. But I wanted to document all these moms. I spoke to one-on-one 500,000 women, moms, and who all kind of had the same exact story as me. But also I heard a lot of, my doctor told me to give Tylenol to my baby before or after the shot so it doesn't hurt as much or whatever. Or there's so that's why I wrote about it in one of my books to get the word out there. So I'm kind of glad it's out there now.
So okay, this is interesting. I just heard about it in the pregnant women. So what it sounds like is they're giving the Tylenol, which depletes the glutathione, giving the shot. And if you have MTFHR, is that how you say it? It can't detox, and then the Tylenol situation makes it worse.
It could absolutely, but you don't even need to have the MTHFR gene mutation. The Tylenol does what an MTHFR gene mutation naturally does, which is lowers glutathione.
That's very
The
interesting.
problem, again, then we can move off it. I think with medical advice in general is like, in the instance of that, they're doing it for pain management, but they're not then following down the path of like, what is the effect of managing the pain in that way? Like, what is managing
Correct.
the pain?
They're not telling you what you can do because a lot of people go, great, what am I supposed to do when I have a fever?
Yeah. Like if you give that advice, like, yes, they will have less pain, but what does it do to the body while you're doing
We
that?
have this doctor that's so incredible that is like, give arnica and she has like chamomile and all these little pellets that you like put in water before you even get to that. Like I think that's important too. It's like, we don't need to just hop right to, like, there's other things that you can do. When you decided to go on Larry King, did you know that interview was going to be what it was? Did you have a strategy there, or were you like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to go on and just do what I want?
The first interview was Oprah. Oprah had me on, and we went live because she knew that we were in jeopardy of having that episode be pulled if it wasn't live.
Network would have.
Yeah. So the cat was out of the bag after Oprah, and then, like I promised God, I would keep going on my mission of sharing my information. So I was ready for Larry King. I didn't know Larry was going to have me on. There was an episode that you probably just saw, the one with Jim, but there's one where he puts me on against doctors and a CDC representative. And I battle these guys like me. MTV singled out Jenny has to battle the head of the CDC or an executive from the CDC and a MD, like going at it. And it was hard. That's what I was battling. Like, I had no one to lean on all these years. It was literally me. I had so many celebrities call me, you guys, and go like, keep going. I can't say anything, but keep going. I agree with you. Hundreds of them.
And do you get that a lot now with what happened with COVID? A lot of people off air telling you what they really think?
Yeah, so many. And then people call me for their own vaccine injury stories of like what to do.
Yeah, I mean, my big thing, like doing this show, is like what I tell people that, like, I'm like, listen, if you're gonna say things privately like this, like, just say it publicly, because if it could help somebody or just make somebody more aware. And like, I really, we were talking again yesterday on the show, and I really don't look at healthcare as a political issue. I look at it as a human issue that everybody should care about.
That's
like
exactly
everybody
right.
should learn how to live happier, healthier, longer, and they should have the best information available to them to take care of their family and the people they care about.
And people that are being bold and brave, the people that do come out and speak, they need help. They need an army behind them. So it's like, just offer that support, even if it's a comment on social media, because the trolls are happy, to come out and attack. But those people that are the silent, supporters can't be silent anymore. Today's day and age, you need to be bold and brave and support people that are speaking truth.
Let's take a quick break to talk about a brand that's quickly becoming one of my favorites, one of my go-tos in terms of clothing, and that is 7 Diamonds. They're a modern lifestyle brand that creates clothing that fits seamlessly into everyday life. I've been wearing their pieces now all throughout the day. They have such a wide assortment, and you honestly can't go wrong. They have pieces that look and feel great, comfortable and versatile, whether you're at work, out to dinner, or just enjoying the weekend. Their clothes make it easy to look put together without thinking too much about it. And I really connect with what they're doing and how the clothes feel. The holidays are coming up. I'm sure many of the ladies out there are thinking about things that they can get for their men or their guys in their lives, their dads or their brothers or whatever. 7 Diamonds has you covered. Like I said, there's so many great options, and every guy likes a solid piece of clothing. what I love most is how easy their pieces fit into every occasion. I recently got this kind of like overshirt jacket. It's called the Montpellier overshirt. It's like this brown flannel. It's super thick. It gets cold out here in Texas, but it also kind of gets hot in the day. And this piece is versatile, so you can like kind of wear it throughout the year. But with winter coming up, you can take this and put it over a sweater or a shirt. I also have these crew necks that I really like. These are kind of like overshirts or sweaters. I guess they call them sweaters, but crew neck sweaters. And it's called the Owl Cut. I got it in dark green. And this, again, you can layer it with so many items. So if you're looking for a gift, that overshirt or these sweaters are incredible. Of course, we have an incredible offer, especially now coming into the holidays. Use code SKINNY for 20% off your first order at 7diamonds.com. Again, that's code SKINNY for 20% off your first order at 7diamonds.com. 7 is not spelled out. 7 is the number. 7diamonds.com, code SKINNY. Check out the link in the show notes. You won't be disappointed.
I was first introduced to the Real Real as someone who is selling. Okay. So you can resell a bunch of your pieces. So I went through my closet. I put a bunch of stuff on the Real Real. And then I realized that I also need to go shop on the Real Real. I have found so many amazing pieces on this site. It's insane. I've found amazing high heels. I've found a little coin purse that I wear all the time. I found a brown, gorgeous shirt. And I even found a Chanel bag. And everything is resale, which is great. It's attainable luxury that upgrades your personal style. And then if you're going to sell on it, I just feel like it's the best way to let go of something that's no longer serving you and you get paid for it. So if you're shopping and you want to find something that maybe isn't available anymore, they really have sort of everything. I found the most amazing vintage pieces, like I said. And if you're selling, it's a great way to make money. I am a huge fan. Another fun thing with the Real Real, it's great because I can use my earnings for something special and new to me on their site. The Real Real is the world's largest and most trusted resource for authenticated luxury resale. With thousands of new arrivals daily, no one does resale like the Real Real. And this month, you can get an extra $100 site credit when you sell for the first time. Go to therealreal.com/skinny to get your extra $100. Therealreal.com/skinny. That's therealreal.com/skinny.
Quick break to talk about Good to Know at goodtoknowfacts.org. Want clear, transparent information about your favorite beverages? We do too. That's why today's sponsor, American Beverage, launched Good to Know, a new platform with tons of information on your favorite beverages. No spin or judgment, just the facts. On the goodtoknowfacts.org website, you can explore 140 plus common beverage ingredients in one place for the first time. As a busy dad, I love having a resource that gives me clear facts so I can make the choices I know are right for me and my family. One of the best things at goodtoknowfacts.org is you can check out more than 140 common beverage ingredients, including what the U.S. and global food safety agencies have to say about them. It provides just the facts with no opinions or recommendations. I love this because you can come to your own assessment, make your own decisions for yourself and your family without any bias or interjections. And what I like about this is it puts you in the driver's seat. You know what's best for you and your family, and now you can get clear information about what's in your drinks without having to dig through confusing websites. So if you want to know more than what's on the label of your favorite drink, goodtoknowfacts.org is a great place to start. Lauren and I talk about health and wellness on this podcast all the time, and one of the biggest topics that comes up is the confusion in the space. What the ingredients are, where to find them, what's good for you, what's not. With a resource like Good to Know, you can now figure all of this out and make the best decision for yourself and your family. So check it out. Visit www.goodtoknowfacts.org for more information. Again, that's goodtoknowfacts.org for more information.
I am so obsessed with this brow peptide. I use it all day long. I use it in the morning. I use it to touch up my brows. I even use it at night. Why it's amazing is it's castor oil. Castor oil is what Egyptians used to use to grow their hair. And I added a peptide to it, so it's a little umph. So many of these brow growth serums on the market are melting the fat around the eyes, which is so crazy. And this one is just non-toxic. I use it while pregnant. And it just gives your brows this like glazed, youthful look, almost like a feathered brow. It's so pretty. I caught Michael using it. That's how like clean it is. A guy can use it and it lifts your face. I use this after my skincare. So in the morning, I habit stack it onto all of my skincare. So I'll do everything. I'll put my caffeinated sunscreen on, and then I'll just use the spoolie to go through my brows and brush them up. And it, like I said, it gives you like a wet lifted look. And then I also will use the little lash one. See how we have like a little lash situation at the bottom on top of my lashes before I go to bed after my skincare. You can touch up your brows with this. I sometimes even will use brow pencil. My makeup artists use it. I think this is my favorite Skinny Confidential product. I'm very, very proud of this. And it works. It grows your brows because, like I said, castor oil, Egyptians. Telling you, you got to try this. I have one in every purse. You can't go wrong. You can subscribe on our site, shopskinnyconfidential.com, and it's delivered straight to your door. If you want to upgrade your beauty routine and upgrade your eyebrows and lift your face, you got to try the Skinny Confidential's Brow Peptide.
Were you prepared for the pushback that you got, or did you not really give a fuck?
Initially, I didn't think I was going to get anything because it was just my story. It was just Evan.
Right.
It was just my story. But when you are up against a government agency, you have a government agency coming back to attack you. I had government agencies hire public PR companies to come attack me. So it's like there's little old me living in the valley trying to fight, the FDA and the CDC. It was really difficult. I lost jobs. It was rough.
Were you like, you know what, so be it? Or was it something that it was hard when you're losing jobs? Did you know that was going to happen?
I didn't expect it, but when it happened, I was like, okay, well, they don't know who they're dealing with. Like, you can't get rid of me. You know what I mean? Like, I get right back up and I keep going. So it's like, I'm still here. It's 35 years I've been in this business, and I won't be stopped. I feel like, and again, I said I was drawn much closer to God through all this, but when you have God on your side, I feel like I do have an army, a spiritual army behind me.
I bet your son's proud of you.
Yeah, he is, but he also didn't know what was happening until he turned 13 and Googled himself. He Googled Evan, he's like, why am I all over the internet? He called me from work. He goes, we need to have a conversation when you get home. And I was like, I never really thought about that because I made him a poster child without his consent. So I had to sit down with him and have a conversation. And then I fortunately saved a trunk full of all of these letters from parents saying how much Evan's story helped them. And so I had him read them all. And he was like almost in tears going, all right, let's do this together.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, he's a little Buddha.
And is Donnie supportive of everything that you're doing?
Yeah.
I don't think Donnie'd be
He
around.
sounds like a good
around.
husband.
He is, you guys, I'm not kidding.
Yeah, he sounds
He's
good.
the world's greatest human being. I can cry even like thinking about him. And it's been 11 years. I swear I'm getting teary-eyed.
Well, start getting the waterworks going, Lauren.
I truly love him so much. And he's got my back and I've got his. And like every day we talk on the phone like 17 times a day and just express how grateful we are to each other. Like I truly love him so much.
nice.
So cute. You better talk about me like that when I'm not
I do.
around.
When you're not around, I really get
I feel like you need to get teary-eyed and discuss me. He does call me 17 times a day, but I don't pick up.
Listen, you guys, you also work together, and that's also a little more difficult.
Woo!
Yeah, it's a little difficult.
Are you guys in Chicago?
He works in Canada and Boston.
Okay.
And then I work in LA, and we both live in Illinois. So figure that one.
Okay, so you guys are like a little, like you get a little absence, which is sexy.
It's sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
But
reconnecting
also,
every
like, you've
time.
removed yourself from like some of the entertainment bubbles, which I think is nice. Like we moved to Austin. We live
Correct.
out there.
I got the
like
hell
that.
out of here when Evan was 8. I'm like, I am not living in this cesspool of Hollywood. I can't raise my son here.
I was going to say it nicer, but
Yeah, it is. It's a cesspool. So I got out. And
I think it could be challenging to raise families, but people do it, right?
well, when you have a kid on the spectrum, you need a community.
Yeah.
And there's no kids riding their bike down the street or playing the fire hydrant and catching lightning bugs. That's what they do in the Midwest. So I got a house next door to my college girlfriends and we raised our sons together.
That's so cool.
So
And
great.
it's such a different experience for your son.
Yeah.
I felt like that when we moved to Austin. We moved
Good
out
for
of
you
LA
guys.
too. And it's the same way. There's like a purity and a groundedness and an earthiness that you don't get.
Well, I don't know how to
here.
explain. We all probably similar ages. We grew up in a time, like I remember you would run around outside and you'd come home and you'd hear like your mom or dad screaming, and you like basically grew up outside. You can't do that in LA. You just can't do that.
Can't do it.
I would be crazy not to ask you about all the different things you do to live non-toxic.
Okay.
So let it rip. Go
Okay.
off on all your supplies. What are the brands? Like like give us all the secrets.
Okay. Well, Branch, obviously for the house. I forgot the name of the dishwashing soap.
Is it Molly Suds?
They're like little blue ovals that are chalky. Dr. Pampa promotes it. So
If Dr. Pompa promotes it, it's legit.
I love it. Of course, I have air purifiers everywhere. I have a hospital grade air system in my house. I open the windows every day for a little bit to get clean air. But when I wanted to do it my own self for my body, I looked into makeup because I love beauty. I love beauty beatdowns. I don't like the natural look. I'm sorry. Pamela Anderson does it so well. I like makeup. Okay. Otherwise I look like Jimmy Carter without it. So I need makeup. So I looked into trying to find the cleanest brand for me. And, I got some clean brands and then I was putting it on. I'm like, they don't work. Like,
Yeah.
they just don't work. So I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna make a clean brand, because what I also found out is when they say they're clean, they're really actually not clean. They're getting away with those check marks that are not true. So who do I trust? Because Jenny McCarthy, what do I know about clean and not clean? So I went to the environmental working group, ewg.org. I'm sure your audience is familiar with it.
Yep.
It's so good. So I went to them and said, I want to create a beauty brand, makeup, skincare that I know is under the right strict guidelines, the most restricted guidelines. I want EWG verified. So they were like so proud. They were like, we'll help you. I had no idea they were going to hand me a booklet of over 900 pages of unacceptable ingredients.
Like here's a million things you cannot do.
It was like a phone book from the 80s or 70s. You know what I mean? It was this big, like you can't include these. And I was like, shit, this is going to be difficult. Has it been difficult? So difficult, but our products are so good. We are half sold out on our website right now, but I highly beg you to try it. Our mascara is an MVP. We're one of the very few that doesn't have hormone disruptors in it. No parabens, no phthalates, no formaldehyde. We don't use aluminum powder, which they use to darken mascara. And it's in a glass tube. A lot of our skincare, everything's in glass except for our lip gloss, which we're going to be moving eventually. But we also third-party test. So for instance, we use aloe in a lot of our products. A lot of aloe has glyphosate in it. So what do? We test it for glyphosate. So EWG keeps us honest. We're still working on getting a lot of the products officially get that stamp. We've made it through round 3. And it takes 3 to 4 years to do, if you can believe it. That's how long because you take it and you make it, you test it, you go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I love it so much because it's not only clean, but it also works. You actually see the benefit, which is why we are sold out. We sell out quickly and often.
You know what I'm begging you to make? Eyelash glue.
Girl, you have no freaking idea how hard I'm on that. I got a Chazelian on my eye because it's the only thing we don't really kind of make yet. And you know what a Chazelian is?
No, what's a Chazelian? That sounds like an alligator from like
Okay,
Nigeria.
someone would say it's a cyst. So it looks like a cyst, but then it grows into like a toe with like pus and infection.
What?
Oh, yeah. So we use this, I used eyelash glue that was made in China, even though everything here in my company is made in the United States. Like I said, it's clean as fuck. But the eyelash glue, I got a Chazelian from it. And then I had surgery to remove it. It came back, and it came back every month for the last 5 months.
So what'd you do?
I kept getting surgery for the last 5 months.
Did they put you under?
No,
Just
like
from the
I'm
glue
awake
that did this?
from the glue.
Oh, and don't get a Chazelle.
From the
I don't know about
glue. This is my first month without it
there
growing
is
back.
a brand the doctor.
I'm on it.
Okay, it's called True.
Yep.
But I want your brand to do eyelash glue because there is so much formaldehyde in
Correct.
it. Everyone needs to know that. But I'm so excited to use your mascara. You said
By the way,
excited for that.
another thing I can brag about my mascara because I'm so proud of it, you guys. I have letters, handwritten letters from women that are like, you have no idea. I haven't been able to wear mascara in 10 years because my eyes burn. No burning. Now, our cleanser also, you're going to notice it melts your makeup away and your eye makeup without burning your eyes.
Oh,
You're gonna
that's
be like,
nice.
Oh my God, I'm cleansing my face and my eye makeup is, my eyes, you know how your eyes burn when you take your eye makeup
Yes.
off? This takes off your eye makeup and your face. And you're going to be like, oh my God, our scrub hyaluronic acid is botanical. So that means there's no bacteria in it.
This is going to, not that it already hasn't, but blow up. This is so needed because you're right. There's so many brands that are greenwashed, clean.
It's a joke.
And this sounds incredible. And what I like about this specifically is that you are a glam girl. So you know the makeup's not going to be like Little House on the Prairie.
That's right. I need it
Sarah,
to work.
plain Jane and tall.
An exciting announcement. Sprouts is going to be carrying it as of December 3rd.
Congratulations.
So,
That's cool.
thank you.
So if they were to start with one
Sprouts
product,
is doing a
what
lot
do
to
you,
move in that in the
Sprouts
direction.
is we like Sprouts.
Sprouts.
What is the one product that you would recommend that they get?
That's like asking which baby you love the most, because my mascara I'm really proud of, but also like when you use the scrub, you're going to be like, my skin has never been so soft in my life immediately. Our moisturizer, you're going to be like, this is the best moisturizer. It's for guys too.
I'll use it.
And then our lip liners came out and they're so creamy and they stay on.
Oh my God, I can't wait to try all this.
Our lip glosses are hydrating, moisturizing, aloe, chamomile, shea butter. That's what's in it.
And I'm so sick of putting lip gloss on and being like, am I eating this? What's
That's
in it?
exactly
Like,
what
it's
I made
gross.
it too. That's, you're eating your lip gloss. So all of our ingredients are good.
My daughter wants to wear makeup. I'm like on Amazon, like Googling non-toxic makeup, and there's still like all this toxic
She's got
stuff.
a few more years.
No,
on
she's
it.
trying to, Michael, she puts on lip gloss.
We have little girls that the moms send in the photos of them using the lip
It's
gloss.
so hard to find
It is.
clean makeup.
It is.
This is so exciting.
I
what
work
you're
so
doing.
hard because you guys, I need it.
Yeah.
And I know there's people like me that are so chemically sensitive. I also don't want cancer. The amount of bullshit that, sorry to use that word.
No,
but
please.
The bullshit that's in the stuff, it scared me so much that I was like, I want to be able to, on my deathbed when I'm 120 going, I made clean products and I wasn't out just for the money.
And then you want to be embalmed with them.
Right. Because people come to me like I have a partner that helped me a little bit in the beginning that said like, can we just use some other, I was like, hell no. Because our margins aren't great. Our margins would be so much bigger if I used cancer causing ingredients.
Yeah, but then you're just doing what everyone else is doing.
Well,
this is fresh. I think it's smart.
You're selling your soul too. It's
What
like,
are
I need
things
to be
people
clean.
need to look for in their own products that you're like immediate throw out?
Ooh, well, formaldehyde,
Okay.
parabens, phthalates.
Formaldehyde, just so everyone knows, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's to embalm bodies with.
Correct.
Okay.
If you dissected a frog in biology, you smelled what formaldehyde smells like. Okay, it's gross. All of these, those are cancer cause. Those are carcinogenics. So you want to stay away from those things, and it's in most products. Mascara is the second biggest offender when it comes into makeup, besides foundation. We're working on foundation. Foundation's number one, mascara's number two. So that's why I'm proud of that mascara, because I had people in big makeup going, she's never going to be able to make it. She's never going to be able to make mascara that's clean. And we did it.
I feel like that's such an undertone for your career, though. The publisher situation of people
Yes.
saying you're never going to be able to do that. You've like defied the odds with it.
I think I get off when people tell me I can't do something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Think of how far humanity has come. We're freaking flying airplanes. We made AI. You don't think I can make a mascara that's clean?
Yeah. Watch me.
Watch me.
I'm here for it.
Well, and you could tell that you're passionate about it and that people can trust you on it.
Do you want to do a code for the audience, like 10% off or anything?
Yes, I would love to do
Okay.
that. So Jenny 10, you can get 10% off.
Jenny 10 on Formless Beauty. And then before we go, we have rapid fire. One thing people would be surprised to know about you.
That I'm deeply spiritual. I am, I don't want to say religious, but I'm Christian. I'm a follower of Christ and God.
Is there like a spiritual person that you look to? Like, is it like Joe Dispenza, or like, is there someone that you go to?
Not Joe Dispenza. I do like Aaron Abke. He's a spiritual teacher.
Okay.
But he has a podcast called The Jesus Way that I love so much.
Okay, I got to check that out.
But I think people will be surprised about that because I don't really talk about it too much, but I'm starting to talk about it more because I feel like with the world the way it's at and so many demons in Hollywood, someone needs to represent the light. So I'm walking with the power of Christ.
I think it's great. What's your favorite guilty pleasure?
God, I love alien podcasts.
Oh, that
Alien podcast.
was not what I thought you were going to say.
I know.
It's not a margarita anymore.
Maybe that's the podcast we should do. The Jenny McCarthy Alien podcast.
Well, then you get a little sick of it. You can't. I'm like a buffet. I need a little bit of everything, or I get a little.
Yeah.
bored.
Like you
little
can do
soup
like
plantation.
once a month. You have the alien.
That's right.
What is your go-to meal to look the way you do? Is it still a steak?
It's still a ribeye.
Okay.
It's still a fatty ribeye with an avocado. I swear by it.
And what's the supplement that you go to? What's your main ones?
Okay, I have essential multivitamin that's chelated minerals. So that means it pulls the metals out of your minerals. It's very important.
Do we have a brand for that? I need to know what the brand is.
I'll text you.
Okay, you got to tell me the brand.
And then I'll put it in the comments for you guys. Then it's also a methylated B vitamin. I go to Thorne.
Okay.
And then I also use Thorne's super EPA, like the fish oils. Then I do a lot of probiotics, you name it. I'm on 5 different ones. I'm trying to think what else. I do like echinacea. I do lymph drops.
Your IV.
My IVs once a week. And I
Do you
mean,
take NAC?
glutathione is also amazing for the skin. Like in Korea, people get glutathione IVs just to have a great complexion in their skin. So it does wonders for your skin if you, care more about your outside than your inside. Still get the glutathione because it does great for your face.
Also, I forgot to tell you this. You and I both did air sculpt with Dr. Aaron
No way.
Rawlings.
I
yes.
love air sculpt.
Yes. We
That
both did
worked.
it.
That worked, you guys, for my perimenopause belly. I could not get rid of no matter how much I starved myself back in the day. It was just living there. And then I got it sucked out.
Yeah, I did my love handles with him
Great.
and my arms, and it was great.
Right? I loved
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it was a 10 out of
I was awake.
you're awake.
Yeah.
But you feel like you're like 12 cocktails deep.
I was high as a kite.
Yeah, you're high.
I was singing Pink Floyd while he was doing it. I was singing Dark Side of the Moon.
I like him personally a lot.
I liked him too.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
a good one. Okay, where can everyone find you, shop your products, follow you next? What's in the works?
Formless Beauty is the name of the company. And then also, my social media, Jenny McCarthy, and Masked Singer will be coming out. And then hopefully a podcast will be coming out. And I have a book next September. And I just want to say thank you for all the people that are starting to come out and support and send messages, because I could use the support. It really, really helps keep people like me that aren't afraid to be bold and brave, but it does help to have support behind you. So thank you guys.
I think you'll get a lot from this audience.
I want you to come back when your book is coming out and
Okay.
talk about perimenopause.
I would love nothing more.
Yeah.
And
What to do
I'm
for
gonna
the
teach
prep.
you so much. So by the time when you are hit menopause, you're going to be like, you're going to say, I didn't even feel it. You're going to say, I didn't even feel menopause.
I really hope you're right, because I think it's bullshit that we have to get pregnant and do all this shit, have postpartum, breastfeed, and then you get perimenopause.
Exactly.
It's like insane.
Yeah.
And have a period. And you guys sit around with
I
your
didn't make the
saggy
rules.
ass
Take it
balls.
up with the Lord above.
Jenny, thank you for coming on the show.
You guys are awesome. And
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Jenny.
your show. Thanks for what you guys are doing.
Oh,
Thank you for coming on.
you.